Hello everyone, I am Dr. M.A. Mary, Assistant Professor, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Cuddalore. Today we are going to see the tenses. There are three tenses, past, present and future. And they exist in four forms. And the four forms are simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. So, the present tense has four forms, past tense has four forms, and future tense has four forms. So, totally there are 12 tenses. In the next slide, we can see the same thing. Simple tense, that is simple present, simple past, and simple future. Continuous tenses in three tenses. Continuous form in three tenses. It is present, past, and future. Perfect again in present, past and future. Then perfect continuous in three tenses, present, past and future. So if we name all the 12 tenses, we will be having like this: simple present, simple past, simple future, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. In the next slide, we are going to see how to identify the tenses. First, let us consider simple present tense. Let us take an example like this. I draw a picture. The first step we have to do is we have to identify the verb. Here in this sentence, the verb is draw. First thing you have to do is find out if there is ing, because ing is the clue for continuous form. Here after the verb we don't have ing, so it is not in a continuous tense. The second step is you have to find out whether there is has or have or had before the verb, because has, have or had before the verb will become the clue for perfect form. Since here we don't have has or have or had before the verb, we come to understand that the verb is not in perfect form. In the next slide, for perfect continuous tense, both ing and has or have or had should be there. Along with the verb, we should be having ing, and before the verb we should have either have or has or even had. The absence of these says that the verb is not in perfect continuous form. Therefore, the verb draw is in simple present, simple in form, and since the verb is in present tense, so the tense in the given verb is given sentence is simple present tense. So this is the way to identify simple present tense. That is, along with the verb no ing, before the verb no have or has or had, then we get a clue that the verb is in simple form. Since the verb is in present tense, we call it simple present tense. Then in the next slide, we can see simple past tense. Let us take the same example, but the tense varies. I drew a picture. Here the verb is drew. So first you have to find out whether there is ing after the verb. No ing. So continuous tense is not here. Then another step is to find out whether we have has or have or had. So they are also absent. So the verb is in simple form, and since the verb is in past tense, the tense used Here is simple past tense. Then in the next slide we are going to see simple future tense. The given sentence is I shall draw a picture. First step is we have to identify the verb, that is draw, along with shall. Here also we have to follow the same procedure. No ing, so there is no continuous tense here. Again, before the verb we cannot find has or have or had, so perfect form is also not here. So the verb is in simple tense. In the simple form we have to identify whether it is present or past or future. Here shall gives us the clue, will or shall give us the clue that the verb is in future tense, because the presence of will or shall before the verb definitely say that the verb is in future tense. So since we have identified that the form is simple and the verb is in future tense, the tense here is simple future tense. In the next slide we are going to see how to identify present continuous tense. The same thing, we have to identify the verb first. The verb here is draw, and the next step is we have to find whether there is ing along with the verb. Yes, here along with draw we have ing, that is drawing. So that gives us the clue that the verb is in continuous tense. So this alone is not enough to identify the tense of the verb, because continuous tense also exists in three tenses, that is present continuous, past continuous and future continuous. In order to find out whether it is present or past or future, we have to see the be verb before the verb ing, that is the ing form of verb. Here the given be verb is am. Am is always a present be verb, whether it is am or is or are. All of them are present be verbs. Therefore, the verb in the given sentence is in present continuous form. Once again I will say ing gives us the clue that it is continuous tense, and am is present verb, and so the tense in this sentence is present continuous tense. Then in the next slide we can see how to identify past continuous tense. See the example, I was drawing a picture. Here also the same procedure has to be followed. Along with the verb draw we have ing, that indicates the presence of continuous tense. And in order to find out whether it is present or past or future continuous, we have to find out what the tense of the be verb. The be verb given here is was. Was is always past tense. So the be verb is in past tense. The verb has ing form. So this gives us a clue that the verb is in past continuous tense. And if the subject is we or you, the sentence may be like this: we were drawing a picture, or you were drawing a picture. Anyhow, the was and were, these be verbs are past verbs. So the presence of these be verbs say that the verb is in past, and ing says that it is continuous. So the tense here is past continuous tense. Then in the next slide we are going to see how to identify future continuous tense. The given sentence is I shall be drawing a picture. The same procedure, ing gives us a clue that it is in continuous form. Then shall, already we know that, and the presence of shall say it is future. And another thing we have to notice, before the verb we don't have has or have or had. That says the absence of perfect form. So we can't use the word perfect in this sentence. So ing gives us a clue that it is in continuous form. Shall gives us a clue that it is future. So the tense in the given sentence is future continuous tense. Then the next tense we are going to see is present perfect tense. What could be the form or how to identify the perfect tense, present perfect tense. The given example is I have drawn a picture, which is the verb here, drawn. Have drawn is the verb. First thing is we have to check whether there is ing in the given verb. No ing, that says the absence of continuous form. So definitely it is not in the continuous form. Then another step is we have to see whether there is have or has or had. Here have is present. Have gives us the clue that the verb is in perfect form. So now we have identified the form, and in order to find out whether it is present perfect, past perfect or future perfect, again we have to see the same verb plus and don't see the main verb, because sometimes you will be confused. The ed forms will confuse you. So the same word have, which is used to identify the perfect tense, will also give us a clue that it is present perfect, because have is always present. Have and has are present verbs. So in this sentence, I have drawn a picture. Have says it is in perfect tense, and since have is in present form, it gives us a clue that the verb is in present perfect tense. And in the next slide, we are going to see about or how to identify past perfect tense. The given sentence is I had drawn a picture. So when we apply the same rules, first thing is we have to identify whether they are ing near the verb. No ing. So we cannot use the form continuous here. And second step is we have to find out whether there is have or has or had in the, that is before the verb. Here we have had, that indicates the presence of perfect form. So no ing, no continuous, but had is here, so it is perfect. And what perfect? Had says, again once again we have to see the same word had. Don't go to the main verb because we'll be confused. So the word had is in past tense. So the tense here in this sentence is past perfect tense. So in perfect tenses, the verbs have or has, they alone can give the clue whether they are present or past or future. Then the next slide says about future perfect tense. Future perfect tense. So the same, let us apply the same conditions. See the example here. I shall have drawn a picture. The verb here is shall have drawn. Drawn is the main, draw is the main verb. Along the main verb we don't have ing. So that says about the absence of continuous form. Next step is we have to see whether there is have or has or had. Yes, here we have before the word drawn. So that indicates the presence of perfect tense. That alone is not enough. We have to say, and the presence of shall says it is in future. So shall says the future, it is in future tense. Have says that it's in perfect form. And so the tense present here is future perfect tense. Then present perfect continuous tense. So this is also easy to identify, because in the given example, see the example, I have been drawing a picture. Here the presence of ing says that it is in continuous form. The presence of have before the verb says that it is in perfect form, And since have is in present tense, the verb is in present perfect continuous. So both the presence of ing and have give us a clue that it is in perfect continuous form. Since have is in present tense, we come to know that the given sentence is in present perfect continuous. Then in the next slide we are going to see past perfect continuous. See the example, the same sentence has been said in past perfect continuous form. I had been drawing a picture. Here also the presence of ing gives us a clue that the verb is in continuous form. Had is present here, so perfect, and had is in past tense, so that tense here is past perfect continuous. So ing gives us a clue that it's continuous. Had says it is perfect, and had is in past tense, so we identify that the given verb is in, or the given sentence is in past perfect continuous. Then the next slide, future perfect continuous. I shall have been drawing a picture. So here also let us apply the same rules. ing says the presence of continuous tense or continuous form. Have says it is in perfect form also. And shall says future, it is in future tense. So combining all these together, we come to know that in this sentence the verb is in future perfect continuous tense. So getting all the clues, ing says it is continuous, the presence of have says it is in perfect, and shall, the word shall gives us a clue that it is in future tense. So the given in the given sentence the verb is in future perfect continuous. Yes, students, I hope you all understand how to identify the tenses. Thank you. Hello everyone. I am Dr. M.A.